Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the video. Sending some love and positive vibes your way, especially if you need it today, is exactly how Ash starts every single one of his videos when he is covering Raid Shadow Legends. One of the primary content creators in that space, he released a video a couple days ago entitled Something is Wrong in Raid. Now, being the inspiration for this video, I wanted to take this concept and the general lack of interest in Raid that I have been experiencing in myself and in the community and talk about one of the primary elephants in the room as I cover Godforge. So, welcome to the channel. I'm Charlemagne and let's talk about Godforge, the Raid killer. Let's get into it. Now, like I said, we're talking about this through the lens of Ash's video, so I want to make sure and put it up here so you guys can see here. Now, this is anecdotal. It's not truly defining what is going on in the Raid community, but it does point to the fact that there seems to not be a lot of upward momentum when it comes to Raid, and that is mirrored in the comments, in the videos being watched, and everything. I used to watch Raid content every single day, and I struggle myself to even watch the content creators that I am most dedicated to. And even logging in, it gets challenging. There is a lot of things that we can point to when it comes to this, but one of the primary things that I believe the actual comments and community that are responding to this video highlight is that Raid died the day that they released Mythical Champions, because the spending gap, the power gap between whales, krakens, free-to-play, low spenders, all of those things became insurmountable because of how unattainable those champions were for so many players. And so when it comes to Raid Shadow Legends and where that game sits today, will the release of Godforge put the nail in the coffin and end Raid for good? Well, I can say with assurance that when it comes to Fateless and their perspective on this subject, they would say that they do not want that to be the case. In fact, they want to coexist alongside Raid. Think about it. Simon is one of the co-founders of Fateless, but also one of the primary stakeholders in HH Gaming, which is the company that develops hellhades.com, the Raid Optimizer, and so many other tools that Raid players use every single day. There are several jobs that are dependent on Raid Shadow Legends and hellhades.com working well. And so I believe it is in their vested interest to not overcome the market and kill Raid. And when it comes to exactly the types of players that are going to be playing each game, I think culturally, I've seen a lot of people from the States, people from the European countries, but I haven't seen a lot of people that are farther east coming into this Discord. I think primarily the language right now that is being supported is English. The creators are English and they speak that language. And so we're not seeing the large like Russian population that plays in Raid, or even like a further Eastern cultures popping into the Discord. It's just not something that is covered. Now, might this expand after launch and they're able to cover more languages and have dubs on everything and things like that? Potentially. But I think that that would be a slow transition and we wouldn't see a lot of growth in that immediately. Remember, the Discord is just over 30,000 members, and the player count in Raid is far, far greater than that. So we can rest assured that on launch, there won't be any chance of Raid shutting down that day. Guys, remember, I have a really young channel and every subscription matters. I hope to continue to be able to cover Godforge and look towards everything that's going to be happening in this game for the remainder of the year and on from that. So subscribe for more content so that I can continue to cover and provide you all the information you need to be able to enjoy what Fateless is doing. Now, one of the other primary things that Ash talks about a lot in this video is one of the recent releases on Plarium in the quality of life updates that were released for this game. They talk about Classic Arena, Tag Team Arena, they talk about Silver, Minotaur, gear management, all of these things that in some games are basic quality of life standards. And after what, almost 7 or 8 years of a game being around, Plarium has yet to do these things. They talk about testing Minotaur and allowing players to gain scrolls faster. We needed that 5 years ago. We needed that at launch, and they're only just talking about testing it now. It doesn't need a test, Plarium. Players need it. Just do it. So, in a sense, I think one of the main points that I also want to point out is that it's not necessarily that Fateless won't kill Raid, but I think that Fateless will certainly produce a game that kills Raid for several players. I know that the community that I am in when it comes to Raid is really tired of it. I know several of them are just waiting for Godforge to come out so they can focus on the content. And so will Godforge be a Raid killer for everyone? No, I don't think so. But I think it will definitely be a Raid killer for some. Another big point that Ash makes in his video is kind of the level of difficulty that Raid has achieved now that things like Faction Wars, Centranos, Chimera, all of these pieces of content have come out. And he makes a great point when it comes to hard Faction Wars, is that it's harder content, but it's not creative content. If it was a challenge that really required skill and effort, that would be one thing. But it really just comes down to, do you have the right champions? Do you have the right gear? Meaning, do you have good stun set gears or provoke sets or free sets or whatever it requires to be able to control the waves? And it's not actually providing a new type of content that's really bringing gamers out of the woodworks to get creative and build up ideas and become a community again. What happened to the days of the clan boss calculator being created? What happened to the days of the arena calculator and all of those things? Or when Hell Hades first worked with his team to create the optimizer? There's nothing new that's drawing people to be creative, to invest in one another, and to grow as a community. And so when it comes down to it, I think Plarium is shooting itself in the foot when it comes to Raid. I think that Raid could potentially be dying if they don't stop. But it's not because of Fateless, and it's not because of Godforge. Plarium is doing this to themselves, and they are just another example of another developer that's not listening to their community. So what does this mean? Well, I think it means nothing but good news for Godforge. Now, I am concerned in one respect, because one of the things that we're pointing to for Raid is that it's too hard, it's too difficult. Now, I don't believe that the content in Godforge is going to be too difficult, but I have been covering the buffs and debuffs, the disables, their hero types and weapons and enhancements and all kinds of things that work together to create complexity inside of Godforge. And for me, in my analytical mind, that's great. I mean, you can definitely tell that Saf is behind the scenes just plotting and balancing and working all these things, which is great and so much fun. I hope all of the developers, all of the team, all of the designers are having a blast creating this game. I know I will playing it. But my concern is that will the average player be able to log in, learn the game, and have fun without feeling lost? We'll see. So when it comes down to it, no, I don't believe Godforge will be the raid killer. I think it will be able to exist in the same space, but I think that Plarium will take a hit, and I hope that they listen. I hope that they're watching. I hope that they see what Fateless is doing, what Godforge becomes, and then they work hard to catch up. There are so many things that I will react to or give a really positive feedback to about Godforge, and other people in the community be like, oh, well, that's standard practice. Oh, well, this game had that at launch. Or I'm a raid player. Unfortunately, Plarium has abused their players for years, and we have grown accustomed to playing a game that doesn't have good quality of life updates. And so I know that Godforge is going to be different, and I hope that Plarium watches and listens and makes their game accessible, makes it better, and makes it a game that realizes its age, and that it can't just continue to scale the power, but it also has to make the front half of their game, the front half of the power gap, more attainable, more achievable. It only makes sense. It seems to me that one of the primary pain points of the general community is mythicals inside of Raid, and we know for certain that that won't exist when it comes to Godforge, and we can look forward to that. We can look forward to once again having a pool of champions that we can summon, and every new pull is fresh. So, are you going to quit Raid? Are you putting it down? Are you barely holding on while you wait for Godforge? Or are you going to try to play both? Let me know in the comments below, and let's get ready for Godforge.